evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller.
And I'm Amelia Marquez. In tonight's news, health officials have concern about several measles cases reported in the state. Gasoline prices seem to be holding steady this week. A Columbia woman has been arrested on charges of exploitation of an adult in a nursing home. A former Olympic medal-winning swimmer was in our town recently, and we'll continue with Tom Corrington's conversation with Tullahoma High School's Director of Career Technical Education. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Mayor Lane Curley is challenging Tullahoma area citizens to join him and walk the Appalachian Trail. And you don't even have to leave Tullahoma. You can get fit this fall by putting one foot in front of the other and walk the Appalachian Trail. You'll win prizes, get weekly fitness tips, and enjoy fun weekly walks with area personalities. You'll feel great getting fit. We want businesses, churches, families, and friends to form a team and join our walk along the Appalachian Trail. Starts September 4th, ends October 15th.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
100 vehicles under $15,000 at 5 locations, both Tullahoma and Winchester. Keith Barnett here at the Russell Barnett Automotive Family, and new car sales have been so great. We have a huge selection of pre-owned inventory. Do you have a trade? Maximum trade allowance going on right now. 100 vehicles under $15,000, maximum trade-in allowance. Best website in the business at russellbarnett.com. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
Welcome back. From January 1st to January 14th of this year, 107 people from 21 states, including Tennessee, were reported to have measles. While the state does require children that enroll in child care facilities and public schools to have their measles vaccination, children can be exempted for medical or religious reasons. Doctors warn that not getting vaccinated could have serious consequences. The majority of people who got measles were unvaccinated. Measles elimination was documented in the U.S. in 2000. However, measles is still common in many parts of the world, including some countries in Europe, Asia, the Pacific, and Africa. Travelers with measles continue to bring the disease into the United States.
The symptoms of measles generally appear about 7 to 14 days after a person is infected. Measles typically begins with a high fever, cough, runny nose, and red watery eyes. 2 or 3 days after symptoms begin, tiny white spots may appear inside the mouth. 3 to 5 days later, or after symptoms begin, a rash breaks out. It usually begins as flat red spots that appear on the face, at the hairline, and spread downward to the neck, trunk, arms, legs, and feet. Small raised bumps may also appear on the top of the flat red spots. The spots may become joined together as they spread from the head to the rest of the body. When the rash appears, a person's fever may spike to more than 104 degrees Fahrenheit. After a few days, the fever subsides and the rash fades. Measles is usually passed through coughing and sneezing.
The national gas price average has held relatively flat for the last 2 weeks. Today's national average is $2.86. The Energy Information Administration's latest report detailed a decline in consumer gasoline demand and an increase in gasoline inventories. In fact, this was the first increase in inventories in 6 weeks, with a substantial addition of 3 million barrels. AAA spokesperson Janet Casolano said, quote, "With a flat national average, U.S. gasoline supply and demand suggests they are balancing, but that's not to say that we could not see spikes in demand closer to Labor Day as motorists squeeze in those final road trips," end quote. On the week, states are seeing pump prices jump as high as 8 cents and drops as much as a dime. Today's gas price average is 1 cent less than last week, 3 cents less than a month ago, and 51 cents more than this time last year.
An investigation by special agents with the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has resulted in an arrest of a Columbia woman on charges of exploitation of an adult and theft. At the request of Adult Protective Services and and the Mount Pleasant Police Department, agents began investigating a complaint of exploitation of an adult at a nursing home in Mount Pleasant. During the course of the investigation, agents learned that Jessica Woods, the daughter of a resident there, misappropriated more than $17,000 of her father's money from August 2015 from August 2016.
The investigation revealed that Woods eventually removed her father from the nursing home, leaving more than $26,000 of unpaid bills. The Maury County Grand Jury returned indictments charging Jessica Ann Woods, age 38, with 1 count of theft of services and 1 count of willful abuse, neglect, or exploitation. She was arrested on August 3rd and booked into the Maury County Jail. She was released after posting a $10,000 bond.
Stay with us. More News Leader is coming up after these messages.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Russell's got your truck, man. Russell's got your truck.
Keith Barnett here at the Russell Barnett Automotive family, and we have sold so many new trucks. We've got over 100 pre-owned trucks to choose from. Any make, any size, any model. It's as easy as going to russellbarnett.com to check out our pre-owned truck inventory. And remember, why buy your next truck anywhere else?
With the best selection anywhere, Russell's got your truck, man.
Welcome back. Carol Lynn Joyce, 3-time United States Olympic swim team member and 4-time silver medal winner, was in Tullahoma last week participating in a swim club clinic for the Tullahoma swim team. We stopped by to see some of her presentation during the swim team's fundraiser at Cedar Lane Church of Christ on Saturday night. Here, Carol Lynn speaks about her struggles to make it to the Olympics.
Tonight we have Carol Lynn Joyce. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her, and then she's going to come up and speak. She is one of only a handful of U.S. women to ever compete at 3 Olympic Games. It's pretty impressive. Kara is the only swimmer in the NCAA college swimming history to win the 50 and the 100 freestyle all 4 years in a row. She is an 18-time NCAA champion and the second most decorated collegiate athlete in history for any sport. In 2017, Kara founded the Lead Sports Summit for Teenage Girls, an organization dedicated to the empowerment and development of young women in sport. Let's give a big round of applause for Carol Lynn Joyce.
I brought 2 of my medals. This one right here is from the Athens Olympics in 2004, which about half of this crowd was born before 2004, so that's good. And this one with the red ribbon is from the Beijing Olympics in 2008. So something that I think is really cool about the Summer Olympics is the front of the medals are always the same for the Summer Olympics. It's the Greek goddess Nike, which is the goddess of victory. And then the back of the medal, the ribbon on the medal, all of that is designed by the host country. So that's what makes it really unique and special to each host country. And for Athens, they put the beginning of the Olympic anthem in Greek on the back of their medal. 2004 was the first time the Olympics returned to Greece, so that was kind of cool. And all of their colors, bright blues, pinks, greens, it was like a big celebration there. And then Beijing put a ring of jade on the back of their medal. I'm gonna pass these around for you guys all to see, and you can hold them and you can try them on and you can take pictures. Just be very careful. So thank you guys for having me tonight. Working with the team here has been so much fun the last 2 days. I think we've learned a lot. We've definitely had a good time. And to me, it's truly an honor to be somebody that's brought in to do something like this, to be somebody that's brought in to talk about swimming and to talk about my experience, because it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting right where you guys are, listening to an Olympian and dreaming of their story. So it's surreal, but it's quite an honor. So now I get to tell you guys a little bit about my story and why I'm standing here today. I grew up in upstate New York, so very far north, a lot colder, a lot more snow, and I have two brothers, and I'm the youngest, I'm the only girl. And so when I was 5 years old, I came home from school and I was like, Mom, all my friends are doing tumbling, I want to be a gymnast, can I please sign up? And my mom was like, Kara, both your brothers want to be on the swim team, and the family has one car, so that car is going to go to the pool. Even though it wasn't my first choice, I loved swimming. I loved the feeling of being in the water. I loved seeing my friends. I loved trying to race my brothers. Like, I loved everything about it. But with that being said, I was the worst swimmer on the team for quite a while. And when I was 7 years old, I watched the Olympics. It was my first introduction to the Olympics. I was sitting on the bed with my mom, and I saw swimming on TV, and I was like, what is that? And she was like, oh, Kara, this is the Olympics, where the best swimmers in the world get to compete and race against each other for, one Olympic champion. And I was like, I want to do that someday. I want to be an Olympian. And my mom turned to me and she was like, that's great, honey, but Olympians can get from one side of the pool to the other without stopping. Maybe tonight you can try that in practice. I was on a 2-year journey to make my full 25. And so that night, I went to practice, made the whole 25 without stopping, and I was like, I'm going to the Olympics! My mom said I have to go a whole 25, and that's what I have to do. It doesn't really work like that. But in watching that Olympics, it changed everything for me. It completely changed my perspective on what sports can do and where they can take you. And when I was 14 years old, I qualified for the Olympic trials. So I get on the blocks, I swim my 50 free, kicking and pulling as hard as I can. And I reach for the wall and I look up, 75th out of 76 swimmers. And the girl that was 76th was disqualified for a false start. So I was literally the slowest person in the entire event. So I went to the locker room, sat down, crying, like I should probably quit, this is terrible. My coach walks in and she was like, we don't have to talk about that race right now. We'll just put that aside for now, but I want you to come out to the pool deck and meet somebody. Are you Carolyn Joyce? And I'm like, yeah, yes. And as soon as she says my name, I know who she is. She's like, I'm Summer Sanders. So nice to meet you. Why are you crying? And so then I start crying harder because it's my hero, first of all, and she knows my name, second of all. And so I explained my whole story. I just, sat through 6 days of Olympic trials. I finally did my race. I was supposed to get first or second. Instead, I got 75th. And she was like, okay, sit down next to me. So I sat down next to her and she put her arm around me and she was like, Kara, you should be proud. You're at Olympic trials. That's a big deal. Don't worry about not making it. She's like, I didn't make it at my first Olympic trials either. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, I swam the 100 fly and I got third. And I was like, yeah, same. She was like, you know what? You go home and you work hard for 4 more years. Every day you go to practice, Kara, you give it an honest effort. When you come back, you're gonna be taller, you're gonna be stronger, you're gonna be faster. That's gonna be your time.
More news is coming up in a moment.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Tonight we bring you part 2 of Tom Corrington's interview with Dr. Sherry Zimmerman, who is a director of career technical education at Tullahoma High School.
Well, how many, do you have quite a number of students that are in these programs that are included in working in industry and business?
We do. We have 11 different programs, and in each of those programs, it depends on the capacity of the program, but in each of those programs we have around probably 50 students in each one. We have 1,000 students in the building, so we have a good proportion of students in the CTE program.
That's interesting. Okay.
As I said, some students will. You can also have a concentrator in advanced placement or dual credit. So we have a lot of students who, instead of doing the CTE program for their concentrator, their 3 courses, you know, that are in a series, right, they take advanced placement courses through Motlow or dual credit courses through between Motlow and the high school.
Yeah, that's where they get credit both at Motlow, right, and in the high school.
Right, or they're very involved in the fine arts programs, which is not part of CTE, but that's also another way to fulfill that concentrator.
Yeah. So, and in doing that, if they decide later on they want to go to the community college, they've already got a few credits for starters.
Absolutely.
Can shorten it up. Okay. So you got 11 programs, and you have 11 teachers. Talk a little bit about that. How do you work with them? What's the difference between you and them?
Last week, I believe it was last week or the week before, Congress and the President approved the Perkins budget for career technical education.
Perkins?
So, Perkins, P-E-R-K-I-N-S. And that's been a pot of money, a fund that comes from the federal government. That was a renewal. That's not a new program. Perkins has been around for a long time, but Congress and the President signed off on that last week to renew that. So Perkins funds are dedicated strictly for career technical education. So my role is largely to make sure that we have we fulfilled all the requirements that come with the money. So we have goals that we have to set and data that we keep maintained to make sure that we've met those goals for career technical programs. So teachers go out and they're the ones on the front lines teaching every day. They know their subject, they've been in the industry in their area, and my job is to interact with them also as teachers. I'm their supervisor as an administrator, but also to make sure that everything's moving along smoothly for our Perkins grants and other money that we're required to maintain records on for the state.
Does that include possibly additional training for the teachers?
Absolutely, yes. The state of Tennessee does a lot of training for CTE. They run a week-long training program in the summer and also in the fall. And so teachers can go and get refresher courses on their particular area of interest or in good teaching skills. So there's a lot of training, and a lot of that is provided through the Perkins money.
Okay. All right, so they're constantly in need of updating as well, and I can see that the changes going on in the workplace, primarily driven by technology. I think most of us are probably unaware how extensive that is, how much change is going on out there, and how in the world do you keep track of it and try to prepare to deal with it, for your students to deal with it.
It is constant, you're right. Our computer teacher, Angela Pendergraph, for example, spent a good part of her summer getting certified to teach coding. Computer coding, and so she's now certified she'll be able in the future to be able to create an advanced placement class in which they can get early college credit for coding. So that's kind of a vanguard into new areas of technology, new areas of technical education that we haven't had before. But it took her a lot of hours this summer to get certified, for sure.
Okay, and so are your students, are they allowed to go into those areas on an ongoing new basis? Do they constantly being upgraded in what they're being taught to do out there?
As far as what goes on in the daily work in the classroom, yes. I mean, our teachers are always trying to be community leaders in the field that they're in. So our cosmetology teacher is out working with local beauty schools to create competitions, and they provide a lot of scholarship money for our students. So there's that connection between the businesses who need cosmetologists and the schools, and then our school. They work together to put together competitions, to create opportunities for stipends or for awards.
Yeah.
So she's always on the front line of those kinds of things too. Even though that's not technological, it's still something that in popular culture is always evolving, and, she's always right there.
Well, there's an ongoing need there.
We'll be right back in a moment with more News Leader on 6.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. Antibiotics are a great healing tool for many illnesses. However, they don't work for everything that ails us. Let's watch this video from the Food and Drug Administration about the overuse of antibiotics in today's society.
It's time to get smart about antibiotics. You may think that if you're sick, you'll need them, but that's not always true. I'm Dr. Joe Turner, a medical officer at FDA. And there are some important things you need to know about antibiotics. For starters, antibiotics won't cure anything and everything that ails you. An antibiotic is a drug that kills bacteria. It won't cure a cold or the flu, no matter how lousy you feel, because those infections are caused by viruses. When should antibiotics be prescribed? When you've got an infection caused by bacteria, like strep throat or skin infection. There are some simple do's and don'ts when it comes to taking an antibiotic. Do take it as directed. Don't stop taking it because you're starting to feel better. Don't share it. Don't save it. And don't pressure your healthcare provider to prescribe an antibiotic. All drugs can have side effects. So if you have a viral infection, an antibiotic not only won't help, it could make you feel worse. In fact, overuse of antibiotics has caused the growth of antibiotic resistance, a serious health problem. That's when bacteria change in a way that makes antibiotics less effective. Bacteria that are resistant to antibiotics can hurt you. In the future, it is possible that no antibiotic will be effective in killing resistant bacteria. So get smart about antibiotics. Use them exactly as directed and only to treat infections caused by bacteria. To learn more about using antibiotics safely and effectively, visit this FDA website.
The pet of the week this week at the Tullahoma Animal Shelter is a retriever mix named Jenny. She is approximately 3 years old and entered the shelter as a stray. Jenny is up to date on her vaccinations, heartworm negative, on flea meds, and has been spayed. She is great with other dogs and children. Be sure to check out the shelter on Facebook for information about upcoming events and fundraisers. Remember, you can help support your local shelter by adopting, donating, or volunteering. For more details, contact Teresa at 454-9580. The Tullahoma Animal Shelter is located at 942 Maplewood Avenue.
The Coffee County Humane Society featured pet this week is Roy. He is a blue mottled blue heeler mix looking for a forever home with room to play. The shelter also has many other dogs available for adoption at 1210 Oakdale Street in Manchester. Their hours of operation at the shelter are 7:30 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. on Saturday. The shelter's phone number is 723-2730. Donations for animal care can be made to the Coffee County Humane Society at P.O. Box 252 in Manchester. Their website is www.coffeehumane.org.
Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
It's football time in Tennessee, and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 different locations, 8 new car franchises, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, a certified collision center with lifetime paint guarantee, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental. Let our family exceed your expectations at the Russell Barnett Automotive family. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 2007 at 102 degrees. The record low was in 1929 at 52 degrees. The average high on this day is 88 and the average low is 66. Chance of rain in your forecast for tonight with a low of around 73. A 70% chance of rain in the forecast for Friday with a high of 86 and a low of 73. 50% chance of rain on Saturday with a high of 87 and a low of 70. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.
And from all of us on News Leader 6 wishes you and your families a fantastic weekend. Thank you.